What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we are finally speaking the language of bromance, even though we've been BSing for the last hour and a half.
We've been gossiping. We've been chit-chatting, trading.
We've been having some coffee talk.
Beer talk.
We've been talking amongst ourselves.
It's good. It's been a minute since we've talked to each other.
That's your fault. I blame you. No, it's not your fault. I blame me.
You passed out on me, sir.
I totally did. I 100% did. I got home. I was very, very tired. I was like, I'm going to lay down on the couch for a bit. And Shawn's like, we're still recording at 9. I'm like, yes, of course we are. And I fell asleep and slept right through.
Yep. I was nervous. I jumped in my car. I was about ready to drive all the way to your house. And
you said you were halfway to my house.
I was halfway to your house.
Were you?
Then I peeked in your window. I was like, I think he's dead.
That son of a bitch is sleeping.
Rigor mortis is set in. And I ran in. It wasn't rigor mortis, Richard.
I was just erect.
Yeah. And then you said, you can't let me not finish. It'll hurt. So took one for the team.
No, I said, get off me. I'm married. That's what I said. Because I'm happily married. Son of a bitch. So for today, Shawn, I'm gonna so what my plan is I'm gonna tell you a story. And then after I tell you a story, I'm gonna tell you why I think that the story is stupid. And then after I tell you why I think the story is stupid, I want you to tell me. Well, I'll pose the question later on.
Okay.
So it's
you're like, continuing this podcast, I think it's stupid.
I'm going to read you a story about a podcast, and I'm going to tell you why I think it's stupid. So this story is called The Language of Bromance and Why It Should No Longer Be on the Internet.
By Richard and Shawn. Those names sound familiar. The conversation of bromance
is not one that needs to be had over the internet. No, Shawn, I'm going to tell you a story. And this story is about deer. It's about deer. It's about hunting.
Ooh. Some people are pro, some people are anti, some people don't care.
Have you ever gone hunting?
Yeah, I've gone hunting plenty of times.
Really? Like with a gun or with a bow?
No,
with
not
your
a
bare
bow.
hands?
Not
and
my
a
bare
knife?
hands.
Did you put on camo?
I did. Well, when you deer hunt, you're supposed to wear orange so people can see you and don't shoot you accidentally, which happens more often than you think.
Really?
Yeah, there's some stories about like people walking through the woods not wearing their orange and people like, oh, that's a deer, bang. Like, oh, wait, that wasn't a deer.
I hate that. That was Bob.
Which, I mean, I've gone through like hunter safety course and all that stuff, and it's very much like you don't shoot at something unless you're really, 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 really sure it's what you want to be shooting.
I mean, shouldn't that just be kind of a general rule of thumb?
I mean, like when I went through that, I was like 8. I'm like, this seems like common sense. It's like, yeah,
right? Yeah, exactly. Don't shoot at something unless you're absolutely sure you want to shoot at it. Like people. No, not like people. Except people. What if I'm really, really sure I want to shoot them? Still no. Still no.
That is first degree murder. Well, what about the deer? Well, that's just hunting.
Yeah. Can I hit them with the gun? With the deer? No, the people. Can I hit the people with the gun?
Yeah, but I mean, it's I've done some quail hunting. I've done some deer hunting. It's fun. It's, and you get some good food out of it. You get some.
Do you put camo on your face?
No, if you bow hunt, people do that. And if you turkey hunt, because turkey have really good eyesight, you'll do that. But I've never done like turkey hunting or like bow hunting. So the best thing about hunting.
I've gone out and shot guns, but I've never actually gone hunting. You have to get up so early.
Yeah.
Why is that, Shawn? Because animals, like they're awake all the time. I mean, not all the time. They do sleep, but I'm saying that like, why do I have to go out at 6 a.m? Because it's not like at 2:00 all the deer disappear and then they're just gone forever until 6:00 the next morning.
Well, as my grandpa said, he shot deer in the morning, he shot deer in the evening, he shot deer in the afternoon. So it's kind of all over the place. But the idea is that deer are more active like during the morning and right before night. Okay. And so when you're walking to your deer stand, you want to get there before daylight because most of them you can start actually shooting like 30 minutes after sunrise.
Okay.
But if you're walking to your deer stand at 8 in the morning, like there's a 30 to 40 minute time period where anything in the area is going to hear you or smell you tromping through your spot. Okay. So you try to get there early before they're kind of up and moving and kind of get there and set yourself up. But it is early, super freaking tired. Like this past season, I had to get up at 5:15.
Fuck that.
And we were out in the deer stand by like 5:45.
Fuck that.
And so funny story, like the very first time I ever went deer hunting, my dad said, okay, you sit here, I'm going to go over here. And it's like, he was a distance away, like safe distance away. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like 13 or 14 years old. And like, again, it's like
I see one, bang. Ow!
It's like 5:30 in the morning. I'm like, oh, don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep. Because you fall asleep and dad comes over and is like, what are you doing? Why are you sleeping? I'm never taking you out again. This is bullshit. Laura, look at him.
Laura, the boy's napping in the stand.
He's not
Isn't
a true
that what
hunter,
you do
Laura.
sometimes, John? Only when I want to get out of this fucking house, Laura.
But so like I'm fighting it and like 9:30, 10 o'clock, dad comes back over, gets me, and we're walking back to the house to get some breakfast, and dad says, so did you see anything? I said no, didn't see anything.
Yeah.
I was like, a couple more feet. I'm like, well, did you see anything, dad? He's like, oh god, no, I fell asleep. I was like, wait a minute, you can sleep out here?
He's like, yeah. Why do you think I come out here? Who the hell comes out here at 5 in the morning?
Yeah. You know what doesn't bother me out here? You kids. Or your mother. But yeah, so when we went out
Why'd you insist on the pink camo, by the way?
It makes me feel pretty.
I want to be a hunter princess.
Dad's like, oh God, there's a deer. Hunker down. I'm like, oh God, run, deer, run.
Hurry! He's gonna get you!
Dad, don't shoot it. But when we went out that afternoon, I sat down. I was like right by a log.
Yeah.
And not even like, I'm like sitting there. I look like around the perimeter. I'm like, nope, lean my head back, fall asleep.
Nice. So it sounds like all you do, so basically, from what I'm understanding here, when you go deer hunting, this is just basically you going to sleep in the woods.
It's so usually so there's 2 seasons where I go hunting, and it's 3 days for one, and then it's 4 days for the second season, but I only go 2 days. And my goal for the first season is not to go to sleep, like to stay awake and kind of keep an eye out. Second season, if we haven't seen anything, I like usually that Sunday morning, I'm walking out, sitting in my chair, leaning back, going right to sleep. And you sleep pretty good out in the woods.
Why bother like going out there if all you're going to do is go to sleep?
Well, I don't go to sleep most of the time. So of the 5 days that I go a year, I try to at least stay awake 3 of the 5 days in the morning. And you only sleep for like an hour or two, and you wake up and the sun's up finally and the animals are starting to move. You're like, oh, all right, well, see if something comes around at this point.
You're like, oh, God, that felt great.
Dad from across the lake, I can hear you, asshole.
Shut the fuck up.
You're 34. Why are you still wearing pink?
I want to look pretty.
I don't understand how it still fits. We bought
I'm petite.
We bought that when you were in 8th grade. And why does it smell like lavender?
I want to be one with the forest, Dad. So I personally have never gone hunting. Like I said, I've gone out and shot guns, but I have never gone out hunting. I don't have anything against it. Not at all. I have nothing against it whatsoever. It just never sounded like an activity that I wanted to participate in.
Yeah. And so to kind of like, I haven't shot that many deer. I think in my life I've shot like 4. So it hasn't been a much. And we've used the meat. Like, it's not like I shoot it and leave it.
Oh, of course, yeah.
We use it for food. But one of the coolest things, though, is like when you get there and it's dark and you see the sun kind of slowly start rising and you see all the nature kind of waking up. You got that cool, crisp smell of like being out in the middle of nowhere. I still really like that.
See, I feel like it would be cold because
cold.
usually usually when the season happens, it's around like November-ish. And that's when I feel like it's just cold.
So my dad, in his older age, he likes to hunt comfortably.
Yeah.
And he does take care of me in this situation too, because he's got these buddy heaters. And so you're all bundled up in your clothes, but then you got these buddy heaters that you put and like basically almost catch your legs on fire because they're so hot.
Okay.
But you stay nice and warm and toasty. Those are really nice. Yeah. And I'm in we always call them kind of like white trash white trash deer blinds. Okay. But we've basically taken like a camper shell like you get on a truck. Yeah. And we've put that on like some posts and everything and put tin around it. So you're really covered from the elements and the wind and stuff like that. So
okay.
But what's cool too, a funny story is this year my dad, when he was hunting, he was sitting there and he said he heard something scurrying up the outside of the deer blind.
Yeah.
And a squirrel popped its head over the top and started looking at him. Like, it's like, oh, I'm going to go in here to get out of the wind. It's like, boop. It's like, what the fuck are you doing here? This is my home.
Bang.
Yeah. Dad shot it. And we had squirrel for dinner.
Yeah. So I've never gone hunting. I have nothing against it. It just never was something that like appealed to me. I do like shooting guns, but the thought of going out at 5:30 in the morning to sit in the cold.
It was a lot tougher when I was younger. I kind of enjoy it now. I mean, more so because like having kids and wives and like a house full, it is really nice just to get out there and not be around anybody. Like my dad, my dad's like, 500 feet away from me.
Right.
You're literally standing in a spot for 4 hours where there's nobody coming to bother you. And I don't get phone reception where I'm at too.
Oh, okay.
So it's complete isolation.
Yeah.
Well, not complete. Like I walk like 200 yards. I'm back at my grandpa's house. But, essentially you're kind of.
I know what you're doing out there.
Pooping in a box.
Where'd you get the box?
Well, you got to bring your poop box. That's part of hunting too.
Is that a thing?
No. Although my dad's smart. He always brings toilet paper with him just in case.
Oh.
So, funny story, Richard. Let's back up.
Like he's done this before.
So, the first time I ever shot a deer, so I went hunting with this was like 8th grade, so I'd have been 14. I went with my grandpa, my mom's dad, and he said, I want you to sit here. I'm going to hunt over here. I was like, okay. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, this is in the afternoon. And smart hunter Davy Crockett Shawn at 14 is like, I saw a deer in this creek. I'm going to walk this creek for a little bit just to see what I can see.
Okay.
So I'm walking up this creek. I maybe walk like half a mile. All of a sudden, that breakfast that grandma cooked me starts gurgling.
Yeah.
Like, ooh. Like, I think I need to start heading back. And I started walking. I was probably like a mile away from where I was sitting.
How much effort would it be at this point for you to poop in the woods?
Oh, we'll get to that.
Because I'm thinking you're in like, you're in layers.
Well, I think the better part of this was I didn't have my coveralls on because it was a warmer day. So I just had like pants and like a hoodie and a jacket on.
Okay.
And so I'm walking. I do the first quarter mile. I'm like, ooh, I need to speed up. I get to about the half mile from where I'm supposed to be sitting. I'm like, oh no. Like the next half mile, I'm basically running. I'm like, oh no, it's coming. I'm fighting to get the belt off, and I'm in this creek, and I'm just like squatting. I think I pooped in my pants a little bit too, actually.
Oh.
And it wasn't like solid.
Ugh.
Yeah. And so I'm kind of like squishing it back to get back to the house. And
stop.
I feel like if we ever discover time travel, I'm pretty confident we go back to this specific day because I'm at the front door. My grandma wasn't there, and I'm trying, and my grandpa was wherever he was sitting. So I try the front door, it's locked. Try the back door, it's locked. I'm like, oh God.
Why'd they lock the doors? They're living out in the middle of nowhere.
I don't know. Like my family's always kind of still done that.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay, I can MacGyver this. I found like some kind of piece of stick or twig, and I put it in the keyhole, and I'm twisting it, and all of a sudden, Richard, guess what? Door unlocks. No, the door unlocked.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah. So I'm pretty confident I didn't do it, but you and I went back in time and let me in because, like, we cannot let Shawn get embarrassed by this. So I get myself all cleaned up, and I walk back down to my spot, and I sit for like another hour or two, and that's when the first deer came through and I got it. And I always felt bad about this because my grandpa was talking about it. And he said, like, I really appreciate Shawn because, he will, like, a lot of times when you hunt with people, they won't stay where you basically tell them to stay. They move around and do stuff. I was like, oh, yeah, totally. I didn't move at all. Totally didn't poop myself.
He didn't move around at all. Although, on the way back, there was this horrible stench coming from one of the trees.
Yeah. It was weird. That deer must have had crazy diarrhea. Tracked all the way to the house.
I have no idea where the fuck I found biscuits and gravy, but gross.
It was.
Anyway, so Shawn, so hunting is one thing, but now I'm going to talk about something different. How familiar are you with deer poaching?
It's a thing.
I feel like it isn't. I feel like deer poaching is a huge thing, and I only say that because there's so fucking many of them.
Yeah, not around our area. I don't hear because there's so many freaking seasons. Like bow season goes from like October through January.
Yeah.
You've got the 2 seasons for basically firearms.
Yeah.
There's another like handgun and black powder season, and honestly, like if you get caught, because game wardens supposedly have even more jurisdiction than like police, like they can come into your home without any warrant.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
And so if you're basically somebody that would poach is probably somebody who enjoys firearms, they enjoy hunting, and if you get caught, you essentially lose all your firearms. Like it's a big deal.
Yeah, yeah. So Shawn, I'm going to talk about a deer poacher.
And also, so before you throw that, there's a couple different kinds of poaching too.
Okay.
So are you a guy or a person who's going out and shooting the biggest buck you can find just to cut its antlers off and leave its body there to rot? Or
I would hate that. That would piss me off.
Yeah, and like my family and like actual legit kind of hunters hate people like that. Like my family's the kind that's not like looking for like they're not trying to find something to mount on their wall. They're like, I enjoy being in nature, and if we get one, that's just some good food that we get too.
Yeah, yeah.
But
see, that's my thing. Is like I mean, I've never gone out and shot a deer, but I would definitely. But I am all about like making like like venison stuff. Like it's delicious.
It's good, and like deer sausage. That's what we get a bunch of. It's delicious. It's just got a great flavor. But the other kind of poaching is, maybe you're a family who is struggling, and you're like, hey, if we get a deer, like that's going to be some good meat in our freezer for a month.
Yeah,
which I don't think is as much. I know years past it would be, but not really now.
Yeah, I feel like that's more of hopefully becoming less and less of an issue. So Shawn, I'm going to talk about a deer poacher. This deer poacher is from Missouri, and it's not really so much about the fact that, hey, there's this deer poacher. Like he got caught, obviously, because I'm reading an article about it.
What's the article from?
This is from The Guardian.
Okay.
I've seen it posted other places, but the story I just pulled from was The Guardian. So this guy's name is Dave Barry. He's obviously a poacher. He was caught and arrested, and there was a little caveat to his sentencing guidelines. He was actually ordered to spend a year in jail A year-long jail sentence in what conservation agents have called one of the largest deer poaching cases in state history.
Oh, wow. And Missouri is not really known for like its big deer. So does it say kind of what he was poaching for?
The deer were trophy bucks taken illegally, mostly at night, for their heads.
Oh. Yeah, so you know what they do with that, Richard, is they spot them, which is basically they'll go, like drive down roads and they'll spot, like do big spotlights.
Yeah.
And they will shoot them from the road. And I remember, this has been years ago, but what the conservation, so like with hunting, the reason they do seasons is because they want to try to, conservate and regulate kind of the population, right?
Right.
Because if you had everybody going out and shooting, like, during
all the
mating
time
seasons, or you would hurt the population.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what the conservation officers used to do is they'd put out these fake deer, and I guess the bad poachers end up learning, like, if you shoot them with a smaller caliber rifle, like, you can still kill a deer, but it won't knock down these fake targets, these fake deer.
Okay.
So they'd spot it, and then they'd shoot it, and if you heard ba-ting, you'd be like, all right, we're driving.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know if that's still a thing. I'm sure that there's probably people out there, because that's like, doing stuff like that is just like, I don't know.
Well, because I feel like, okay, so my thing is, let's say hypothetically you shoot one and it does that, like you shoot one and it's metal and it bounces off. Like, as soon as I hear that, my first thought is, well, I'm already on camera somewhere.
Nowadays, yeah. This would have been like 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
Yeah. I feel like there's a camera on me coming at me from somewhere. They already have like the license plate on the car.
Yeah. But and even that, like, if somebody's doing that and they walk up like, oh, that's just a doe, let's leave it. You're like, why would you do that? Like,
yeah.
I mean, at worst, you could take that deer and like take it to the Salvation Army and drop it off, right?
I've always heard stories of people that collect the deer from like the side of the road.
I don't know if that's much of a thing anymore.
I don't feel like it's a thing anymore, but I have heard stories.
I'm pretty sure if you hit a deer or any kind of animal, you get first rights to it, though.
I did hear that, yeah. The deer were trophy bucks taken illegally, mostly at night, for their heads, leaving the bodies of the deer to waste.
I mean, other animals are going to eat it, but still, it's just like...
Well, that's bad too, because then you have like the deer eating other deer, and then that's how they get that chronic wasting disease. From what I hear,
the other
Isn't
deer
that true?
wouldn't eat it,
huh?
The other deer wouldn't. I was talking like vultures and coyotes.
No, like deer cannibalism, Shawn.
I've never heard of this.
So you remember like way back in the 90s when they had the whole craze over mad cow? You remember mad cow disease in the 90s? And you remember how that was what they eventually figured out that was caused from?
Oh, this was the zombie deer thing.
So this is so with the mad cow thing, they're pretty sure one of the causes were that the feed that cows were eating were partially made from other cows. So it was like cannibalism. Cow cannibalism, Shawn. And so there has been cases of this, what deer have called this chronic wasting disease.
Yeah. I remember hearing about that.
Okay. So
like it was essentially like bucks would walk up to people and they could grab them by the antlers and move them around because they were just basically like, brrr.
Yeah. Yeah. So the thought is that this chronic wasting disease is caused by eating deer, like, they can't find food or anything, and so they end up eating other deer.
Yeah, like I could eat this acorn, but oh my god, that deer loin. Oh, I've heard so many good things from these orange hunters. Nom, 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 nom.
It's a little gamey, but I do like it. So this guy's name is David Barry. So Barry, his father, 2 brothers, and another man who helped him had their hunting, fishing, and trapping privileges revoked, in some cases temporarily and in some permanently.
Yeah, I think if it's so, like, let's say you go quail hunting and the limit's 6 and you get 8. I think they'll revoke it for a number of years. Mm-hmm. But if it's essentially kind of like what you're sounding like, if it's like big game poaching, that could be permanent. I'm pretty sure they can take your firearms away too.
Oof. They have also had to pay $51,000 in fines and court costs. But apparently David Barry was like the ringleader. That's what it's sounding like.
So they basically like finding these heads and then selling them as mounts?
Yeah, they were selling them as like trophies or whatever.
I mean, that just that sounds like you're asking for trouble.
So this guy David Barry, he had a year-long jail sentence. But there was a little extra caveat to this sentence. So court records, this is legit. This is court records show that he was ordered by the county judge, whose name is Robert George. He was ordered to he had to watch the Walt Disney movie Bambi.
So it's been years since I've seen Bambi. Was it his mom that was killed or his dad?
No, it was his mom.
What happened to his dad? Was his dad just not there?
I don't think you ever saw his dad. Mom got shot. Then Bambi grows up and finds the lady Bambi.
Bambi grows up and then finds the man that killed his mom.
Bambi grows up, and I do remember that, like, Bambi grows up, and Bambi looks fucking majestic when he grows up. Like, he grows up into like an adult deer.
Yeah.
And he looks like he should be on like the fucking, like, he looks like he should be like a logo, like for the Prudential and shit. Like, he's like, whoa.
Bambi always seemed like I always thought Bambi was a girl too.
Well, you know what? Bambi can be whatever Bambi wants to be, Shawn.
It's true. But so his dad wasn't in the picture.
I don't remember. I don't believe so.
He comes up to Bambi's mom. She's like, "I'm pregnant." He's like, "It's not mine. I can't be constrained to this acre.
I'm gonna go get some acorns. I'll be right back."
Never saw him again. But was his mom killed by a poacher or was it just a hunter?
I think it was just a hunter.
Because I remember that scene, and they make it sound like.
Or maybe it was a poacher, because doesn't Bambi go up to, like, mom's corpse?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Get up, Mom. The poacher's like, come
am here. Am I confusing this with the Lion King?
You might be.
I might be.
It's been, well, and the thing is, too, like, this is from 1942, which, I mean, almost everybody in America hunted in 1942. So Walt Disney might have been like, no, fuck those guys.
So court records show that he was ordered to watch the Walt Disney movie Bambi, with the first viewing being on or before December 23rd of 2018, and he had to watch it. He had to have at least one such viewing each month thereafter. So once a month for his year-long jail sentence, he had to sit and watch the entirety of the movie Bambi.
Do you love conspiracies, UFOs, ghosts, and all things bizarre? Do you want to listen to two skeptics judge the plausibility of these offbeat topics?
Do you want the whole enchilada?
Then you, dear listener, need to hear Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast.
Check out new episodes every Wednesday on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you find fine podcasts.
Or log on to the World Wide Web with your favorite browser. Mine is Netscape. And hit up Mr. Bunker's conspiracytime.com.
Hey, we'll see you in the bunker.
He was also sentenced to 120 days in jail in nearby Barton County for a firearms probation violation. His father, David Barry Sr., and his brother, Kyle Barry, were arrested in August after nearly a 9-month investigation that also involved cases in Kansas, Nebraska, and Canada.
Ooh, so that becomes an international felony.
Yeah. So you have to watch Bambi in French.
I
will shoot the deer.
I shoot the deer because the deer are shit.
Oh, I love the Renaissance.
We mix it with our French fries and our croissants and make a deer sandwich.
That's racist.
Is it?
I don't know. It's funny accent, though. Fuck those frogs. The Missouri Department of Conservation said the information from the investigation led to 14 Missouri residents facing more than 230 charges in 11 different counties.
That's a lot of deer. Like I said, in my whole life, Richard, I think I've shot 4. This guy did 230 something.
Did your dad make you watch Bambi after you guys got home?
No, I was crying. He's like, why don't you just watch Bambi? I'm like, I want to, but it hurts so much. I'm not going to lie. As a human being, even after you do that, it does kind of hurt a little bit.
Really?
A little bit.
Because I was just about to get into why I think this is stupid. Because here's why I think this story is stupid. So this guy gets caught, poaching deer. He's sentenced to jail. He's got, fines and everything. And he has to watch the movie Bambi once a month for his jail sentence.
That's not that much. Once a month?
Once a month. Yes. He has to watch it. Well, he has to watch. I guess he could technically watch it more, but he is mandated to watch it once a month.
The judge is like, listen, you can get 12 months in jail or 6 months, but for the next 18, you have to watch Bambi. He's like, I love Bambi. My favorite part's when the hunter kills all the animals.
That's my point, okay?
It's like his revenge porn. He's like, I get off on this so hard. Oh yeah, cry, Bambi, cry.
Yeah, that's what you want to do, Shawn. You want to be caught in prison masturbating to a Walt Disney movie.
Well, no, I'm saying he gets 6 months in prison. They let him out early, but he's got to watch that for the next 18 months.
Okay, because I'm imagining what happens when he's sitting in the fucking common room and he's watching Bambi and fucking tugging one out. What happens when, the other prisoners look over their shoulder and they're like, I can help you take care of that.
You know what my nickname is in here?
Thumper.
Why is that? Oh God!
Why they call you Ow!
That's horrible.
Okay, so the reason I think this is dumb is because, is it funny? Yes. Does it make for an interesting story? Sure. But what did this judge think that the end result was going to be? Did this judge honestly think that this guy was going to watch the movie Bambi and then have this fucking Ebenezer Scrooge moment where he's like, oh my God, I repent.
Well, and
I now see what this has done to that poor deer.
What about the children?
Oh.
No, but I just looked and even that wasn't a poacher. The Bambi was shot just by a hunter. I think they had dogs in there, which is illegal, but it wasn't like it was some dude doing exactly what he did, ruining this, dear family.
So wait a minute. So you think the judge made him watch it because he's like, oh, this is how you do it.
Maybe.
Now this is how you properly traumatize a young doe.
But even then he didn't shoot the buck. He shot the doe. Maybe we need to do a Bambi watch along.
Let's not.
It's like I said, it's been a long time.
I'm not required to by a court of law, so I think I'm gonna avoid that.
Yeah. I didn't realize it came out in 1942.
Oh yeah, that was one of the first ones they did. I think it was right after Snow White. I think it was Snow White and then Bambi. It might have been. I know it was definitely one of the first 3.
That's got to be on Disney Plus, right?
It was Snow White. It was Snow White, Cinderella, and Bambi, or it was Snow White, Bambi, and Cinderella. I don't remember, but it was way early. But okay, but I'm saying did this judge actually think that this guy was going to watch this movie and be like, oh my God, I repent. I
don't know.
I now see the error of my ways and I'm gonna work for deer conservation from here on out.
Like, are there any movies you'd watch that like make you like turn around? Like, if like let's say you get arrested for DUI, right? You don't like it's not bad. You just get arrested, and you go in, and actually, you know what this probably is, Richard? It's probably like Disney funneling money in. Like, hey, all right, if it's this, make them watch Bambi because Richard, you get pulled over for DUI, you're arrested. They set your trial date. You go in, they're like, listen, we're gonna give you 6 months in jail, or you have to buy a Disney Plus account, and once a week you have to watch the Mighty Ducks,
and you have to buy the year-long subscription. Can't none of this month-to-month bullshit.
Like, what's not bad? I mean, we've got all those Marvel TV shows. Like, well, about that, after your sentence has been, done, then that stuff comes out.
No more Disney Plus.
Yeah, but like you'd get DUI, it's like, oh, we gotta relate to the Emilio Estevez and the wacky comedy The Mighty Ducks, because that's why he had to coach the Mighty Ducks.
Bambi is on Disney Plus, and so is Bambi 2.
Bambi 2 came out later, didn't it? Like that came out.
Bambi 2 came out in like 2006.
That's one whole fucking deer. There's a few generations of deer if they timeline that right. Because I think even in the wild, they only lived to be like 8 or 9.
No, you're right. Yeah, Bambi came out in 42. I don't know what the order is in like how the Disney movies were released.
Well,
I don't know like if it was first or.
Oh, I got you. Like if Snow White came out first or whatever.
Yeah, well, I'm 100% positive Snow White came out first. No, it was. Oh shit, no, there was a lot. There was Snow White, and then Pinocchio.
Oh yeah,
and then Fantasia.
That one will fuck with your head.
Fantasia, yeah. Right?
I remember trying to watch it as a kid, and like you get through the first like hour, and it's like, hey, you got 12 hours left. Do you remember
the bit with the fucking satyrs, and all of a sudden there's like a fucking orgy going on in the woods?
No, well, maybe. I remember the broom one. That one kind of set me off. Where like. Because I was like the kid that like if they're like, hey, don't do this, I'm like, oh, okay. But Mickey's like the guy's like, don't put this hat on and do magic.
Watch Fantasia again, and then like about like partway through it, you're gonna be like, this was meant for children.
Was it the elephant part?
No.
Okay.
I think this was after that. There's like satyrs and fucking running through the woods, and I swear to God, I'm like 80% sure like there's a fucking orgy going on with mystical creatures in the woods.
You know what happened, Richard, is the Midwest was like, God damn this Walt Disney showing these kids these orgies. And he's like, well, what the fuck do these Midwestern people? Oh, they hunt. Well, guess what, you fucking bastards? Bambi.
Oh, and I hate Jews.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
He did. He was not a fan. Okay, so
just gloss over that.
Yeah, let's gloss over. Like, I mean, what else can you say?
Well, he's been dead for what, 60, 70 years?
No, Shawn, his head is still frozen.
That's true. That's what what's that? Robot Chicken taught me.
Yeah. His head's in a freezer.
Yeah. He's coming back. He's like, what can we buy? Everything.
So you get Snow White, and then Pinocchio, then Fantasia, then Dumbo, and then Bambi. So Bambi was the 5th movie. There's another one here called The Reluctant Dragon, which I barely remember.
That sounds sketchy too.
The Reluctant Dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I bet it was about Nazis.
Could have been. I was thinking maybe Nazis.
They always were.
Metaphor for Nazis. Like, what's the hunter in this film represent, Mr. Disney? Nazis and those Midwesterners.
So Bambi was I'm gonna say the 5th movie in if we're going chronologically in Disney's career.
So of those, like, what other movies can you think of that would be like we said, DUI, I think you'd have to watch Mighty Ducks. Like, what would be Pinocchio? Illegal whaling.
Wait a minute. No, because if I watch the Mighty Ducks, I'm going to be like, so if I get a DUI, all I got to do is fucking coach Little League for like a month and then I'm good?
No, it's like 6 months. with all these kids that are
that's a good
slapping
point.
the puck around.
Yeah.
And then you got the one single mom who's like hitting on you, and you're like, oh God, like if I do that, like she's gonna be a reluctant dragon, and then it's gonna happen. And then she's gonna be like, where do you see us going? You're like, oh God.
I have a kid, you know. I know.
He's the worst.
He sucks at hockey, by the way.
That Dawson kid, he's gonna be coming over like, can I call you dad? No, you can't. I love the Mighty
So you're
Ducks.
saying DUI equals you have to watch the Mighty Ducks?
Yeah, I think so. But like, because Bad News Bears, like, I think he kind of got in the same trouble, maybe. But Bad News Bears, like, wait,
that's true. But he didn't really stop drinking.
No, he
in Bad
didn't.
News Bears.
He's like, wait, I can call these kids assholes and treat them like shit. Like, yeah, and they lose in the end, and I laugh. Yeah, well, all right. It's only a few miles to my house from the bar.
I feel like I don't know, because like do they all have to be Disney movies? I guess
no, because I feel like
they have to be Disney movies,
because I feel like Disney's bought so much stuff. Now they've got like the judicial department of the United States. Like, hey, listen, for each one, like you got to be like, hey, your options are X number of years, or you cut the years back, but you have to buy Disney Plus and watch this movie.
So does that mean that really what should have happened is that Bill Cosby should have just watched Sleeping Beauty?
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
I used the pudding pops and everybody get all mad, bitch, use an apple, and everybody's like, oh la di da. Or no, she'd have to watch Snow White.
Well, Sleeping Beauty would fit too. He's like, I go like this lady who's sleeping.
Make a little prickety prick on the spindle, and then she goes a night night. I put the flim flam in the pudding pop, and everybody get all mad.
I learned the errors of my ways. Did you? No. Here, have a drink. That dude's exactly where he should have been probably 20 years ago.
Oh shit. So now wait, so what you're saying is like, okay, so how about this, Shawn? How about I just name off Disney movies, because I've got the list right here in front of me.
Okay.
I name off Disney movies and you can tell me what crime fits.
Okay. I'll need help with it, but yeah, start with the first one was
so we started off with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Kidnapping.
Yeah.
If you kidnap, then you're like, oh, I gotta watch this.
And indentured servitude, because like nobody asked that bitch to clean the house.
That's true.
You know? So what's Pinocchio? Is that like child endangerment?
I'd say child endangerment, yeah. Child worker laws, like you're having the kid work when he's not of age.
Oh, okay.
Because that was about the time.
If you employ child labor, then you have to watch Pinocchio.
Child labor laws, because at that time, they just started having child labor laws, didn't they? Because like in the 20s, they're like, hey, Timmy, I know you're 6, but go into this mine shaft and, scrape coal. Is this going to be okay for my health? I don't fucking care.
I mean, no.
It's like, I'm in it too. Like, I'm lucky to be 27.
You're going to be lucky to make it to, I don't know. How old are you? 5? Okay. So 6.
Side note, like 20s, 30s, 40s. Ugh, no, thank you.
Right?
Yeah.
It wasn't all Gatsby.
No. My grandpa.
And to be fair, Gatsby ended up, face down in a pool. So,
oh, yeah. So my grandpa,
spoiler.
Like you talk about like when I was 8, like my dad would like, hey, can you take out the trash? I'd hurt myself and then, would get treated like royalty for a month. My grandpa, when he was 8, you know what he got to do?
What's that?
He got to team mules and farm because his dad was sick. Like his dad was deathly sick.
So, okay. So get this. My great grandfather, who lived to be 107.
Wow.
Past 100, way past 100, fought in World War I. Like, he was awesome guy.
Was he the detective in Chicago?
No, that was my grandfather on my dad's side. But my great grandfather, this is on my mom's side. My great grandfather, he went to school up until 3rd grade.
Oh yeah.
And the reason he stopped going to school was because his father had fallen into a wheat thresher. Yeah. And so he died. He died a lot. And so at the ripe old age of what? 12?
Maybe it'd be 10 to 12.
Yeah. So at the ripe old age of 12, he now had a farm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like sometimes you wonder like, oh man, that old guy's a real bastard. It's like, well, you know what he was doing when he was 7? Like trying to keep a family alive.
Yeah.
And you know what you were doing at 7? Like trying to beat Mario.
Like how fucking crazy is that?
Like, I mean, my kid, he's a few ways from being 8, but like, could you imagine like today telling an 8-year-old like, hey, you have to go team those mules and farm?
Yeah.
It's like, well,
like legit fucking farm.
Yeah.
Like it's all on you fucking farm. Not, hey, I'm going to watch you to make sure you don't fuck up farm.
No, yeah.
Like, hey, it's all on you.
You know what happens if you fuck up? We starve to death and die. Like, hey, take that pressure as an 8-year-old.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah. And like, I talked to my grandpa about that. I was like, well, what would happen if the mules like ran away? He's like, I'm just glad they kind of knew what to do because I was 8. Like, what the fuck am I going to do? Like, good point.
Hey, come back, mule.
Yeah. I'm going to go riding with the mules until they stop.
So for Fantasia, obviously, if you're,
Drugs.
get caught, if you get caught,
But
having
actually,
sex in the woods.
Is that a bad thing though? Because you're like, oh my God, I'll drop some more acid and watch this again. Because that's probably what you got caught watching.
Right? Oh God, I bet that movie be fucking crazy on acid. Dumbo. So Dumbo would be animal abuse?
Probably, yeah. I would say animal abuse.
Like you get caught like punching an elephant in the side of the head. Like, watch Dumbo.
Or dog fighting, maybe.
See, I don't know though, because I feel like you watch Dumbo and then you'd be like, look at, like if you hated elephants.
I don't know.
You got caught abusing him. You'd watch Dumbo and you'd be like, "Look at his stupid fucking ears." Fuck that elephant.
I didn't see the live action, but the trailer like brought tears to my eyes. You see that cute dumb face coming out with those big floppy fucking ears. Like I just want to cuddle you and wrap you in bacon. What?
You made it weird. Okay, so Bambi obviously would be poaching. We went through that. Okay. Here's an interesting one, Shawn. Song of the South. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say like any kind of racist type thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and hate crime. You got to watch Song of the South.
Yeah.
Cinderella. What would Cinderella be?
Ooh, impersonation. Or like, what's it called where you like write bad checks? Forgery?
Oh, okay.
What's bad checks, though? There's a thing for bad checks.
I have no idea. Forgery sounds right. Fraud?
Fraud. Yeah, any kind of fraud.
So if you're a fraud, you got to watch Cinderella?
Yeah.
But it worked out for Cinderella. She got to be a fucking princess.
That's true.
That teaches you nothing.
Well, I mean, if you watch Bambi as a hunter, that dude still killed a deer and got to eat it.
That's true. Did he eat it?
I'd assume so. I don't think they really tell you. Walt Disney's
because Bambi comes up to like her, his mom and is like, "Oh my God, you're fucking dead." It's not like all of a sudden a hunter showed up. It's like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
Well, probably
drag this back to the truck.
Bambi probably lucked out because if he shot that deer and Bambi's still like, "Mom," he's like, "Wait, another deer!" Bang.
That's probably what the guy's thinking during the whole time. Yeah. He's like, "Why didn't he just shoot? Why didn't you shoot the other deer? It's right there.
I didn't have any tags.
There's the fucking rabbit. You could shoot the rabbit."
Yeah, that's a good point. Have you ever had rabbit stew? It's delicious.
This fucking hunter in this movie, man.
Yeah. It tastes so much better when it's illegal.
Lady and the Tramp.
Prostitution.
Wow.
Well, what came to your mind first?
And now it got weird.
Why is it weird?
Because there's dogs in there. They're all dogs.
Well, they're talking animals. Well, it reminds me of like what's the Richard Gere movie?
There's 2 dogs. No, there's a bunch of dogs. What else is in Lady and the Tramp? There's some weird Italian guy that feels the need to like play an accordion while fucking wild animals are outside eating his garbage.
So this would be like an illegal dog farm or a dog breeder.
Okay.
Because they're like, oh, I remember when I played my instrument to try and make the dogs
Michael
have
Vick
sex.
needs to watch Lady and the Tramp. That's what you're saying.
Maybe, yeah. He's like,
not anymore. He served his time.
He did.
But
he still got dogs. I think he just got some recently. About 5 years ago.
Well, yeah, but I think you know that like he's being like watched ever so like he's like those dogs are probably like the most pampered dogs on the face of the earth.
You know what? He probably looks at us like, hey, you know what I did to the last dog that didn't listen to me? That's horrible. That was pretty scary though. Like he had bad dog kennels or
he was training them to fight.
Well, yeah, but he had like a name that's like, what do they do there? Well, by the name, probably raising them to fight. That makes me sick too. Like the people that do stuff like that, like cockfighting and dog fighting.
Okay, so we already talked about Sleeping Beauty. 101 Dalmatians.
That'd be like illegal fur trading, or that'd kind of be poaching too. I think dog or animal cruelty. I think you tie that in there. That one has like a multitude.
Okay. God, fucking house full of 101 dogs. I'd lose my goddamn mind.
Man. I've got 3, and it's
I have 1 and 2 cats, and I want to lose it.
Yeah.
Fucking dog hair, animal hair everywhere.
Yep.
I bought one of those. I bought one of those like fucking industrial goddamn lint rollers.
Oh, this still doesn't work. You still have hair on everything.
Still doesn't work. 100% doesn't work.
And you know what's awesome is you walk, you'll step in something wet. You're like, well, was it pee or was it somebody licking the shit out of their buttholes? Either way, it's gross.
You guys need to watch Lady and the Tramp. The Sword and the Stone.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I don't know either. Because like
stealing? But not even really stealing.
Steal the sword. Like he pulled it out of a stone and he became king. I don't know.
Maybe like Gang of New York kind of stuff. Like if you're the head of a old school like Gang of New York.
Okay.
I feel like that's a stretch, but because even then it's not a bad thing.
We'll move on. The Jungle Book. I feel like it's getting harder.
Yeah, that's a tough one too.
So let's see. So Jungle Book, you got a boy in the child abandonment.
There you go. Yeah. Like this is what happens when you abandon your child.
Yeah. Leave him at a fire station like a respectable person.
Or a church.
Otherwise, they get raised by fucking a bear and
they could get eaten by a snake.
Or a tiger.
Yeah.
Although then that bear will grow up to fly a plane.
That's true. We just watched that today on Disney Plus.
Speed it now. We're not sponsored by Disney Plus. We've mentioned it like 8.
After this,
mentioned it. I feel like we're going through all these Disney movies. We're like, all these are available on Disney Plus. We're not sponsored by Disney Plus.
But after this episode, I think we should be, because they're going to be like, you know what? We've got enough money. We can sponsor some of these judges and be like, hey, here's a hundo. What's the crime? Child endangerment, Jungle Book for 6 months.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so next one's pretty obvious. Robin Hood.
Stealing.
Yeah, with theft.
Yeah.
Although it worked out for Robin Hood.
Yeah, bank robbery maybe. Abuse of power. That'd be a good one.
Oh, yes. Yes, like Prince John.
Yeah. Sheriff Nottingham.
Fear of what?
Sheriff Nottingham, wasn't that?
Oh, I thought you said Fear of Nottingham. I was like, who is what?
No, Sheriff Nottingham.
The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. So what? So if you had to watch Winnie the Pooh,
that's more of a judge thing, like at a workout facility. Like if you cheat on your workout, so it's not really like a crime.
Oh, okay. So the guy that the lady that's working like behind the front desk at the gym.
Yeah, she's like, hey.
She's like, why don't you watch this, you fucking fatty?
Yeah, why don't you go eat more honey?
Fatty. Why don't you fucking watch this and eat your goddamn pot of honey, you fat fatty?
Hey, you know what Christopher Robin and you have in common? What? All your friends are imaginary. So yeah, it's either you got to pay triple for your gym membership or you watch Winnie the Pooh.
Or watch Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, bother.
He can't fit into anything. Oh, shit. The Fox and the Hound. I can't. That movie's just fucking sad.
It is. Oh.
I think that like
too,
if you're found guilty of I don't know, like some horrible, terrible, like I think if you're found guilty of murder, you should be forced to watch The Fox and the Hound.
Like, you're gonna make me cry thinking about that. Because the part where they're like, I'm your friend too,
right?
Todd. And then you know what? They can't be friends, Richard, because one's a fox and one's a hound. And then somebody gets to come in the room while they're watching The Fox and the Hound and like, you fucking deserve this. Yeah. That's a good point.
Like, you should be forced to cry every single day.
Yeah.
For watching The Fox and the Hound.
You know what you did? It's exactly like this, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
I am a piece of shit. That is a rough one. My sister watched that for like a 2-month period straight. And I'm like 14 crying, like, we can't do this. No.
Oh my God, that's brutal. The Black Cauldron.
I don't remember that one.
So it's basically, I feel like if you are found guilty of using a artifact of necromantic power to create an army of the dead that you will use to take over the world, then you should be forced to watch The Black Cauldron because that way it shows that it doesn't work out.
What about necrophilia?
Wow. Oh, I mean, I guess if you want to stick it somewhere, there it is.
No, you don't want to stick it there. That's why it's a crime.
Right. Good point. Yeah. So moving on, The Great Mouse Detective. So this is basically, if you don't remember the movie, this is Sherlock Holmes with mice.
Yeah, I don't think there's a crime tied to that though, because he's a crime fighter.
Well, yeah, but the bad guy builds a robot. He builds a robot of the Queen.
Oh, so maybe
is going to he's going to use the robot to impersonate the Queen to make himself super powerful.
So maybe like hacking or something like that, like
okay,
internet fraud.
Okay. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Ooh,
blackmail,
or pirating.
Ooh, like, land theft.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
Yeah.
The Little Mermaid.
Pollution.
But look at all that stuff. Wasn't it neat?
Didn't
you think her collection was complete?
Was it?
I thought that she was the girl that had everything.
Yeah, but she didn't. She had to leave the ocean because she had too much stuff. Too much trash, Richard.
It wasn't trash. Look at that trove. Treasures untold.
My first crush was the Little Mermaid.
Why was your first crush somebody that didn't have legs or any sort of sexual organ?
Seashell bra, Richard. And she wanted to be where the people are.
Your very first crush. And it's like, Laura, why does he like the mermaid so much?
John, he doesn't understand sex yet.
Can't sleep with a mermaid. It doesn't work, Laura. It's interspecies. It's not how where's he gonna put it, Laura?
I gotta go kill something, Laura.
I can think of some place. Shut up, Laura. I'm going outside. I don't need this. Beauty and the Beast. Would this be?
That's kidnapping again.
Yeah, kidnap. Well, okay, yeah. Because the Beast did basically kidnap. He also he threatened the dad,
aggravated
kidnapped
assault.
the girl, held her inside his castle.
Domestic abuse.
Well, he didn't hit her.
Didn't he?
I mean, he hit it eventually, but I had someone make the argument that Gaston was the most misunderstood character of the Disney universe.
I've heard people talk about that before too.
Because they're like, "Oh, the village made it." Like he was a product of his upbringing and a product of his environment. And I'm like, he was still an asshole.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick. He was a jock.
I don't know. Aladdin.
Impersonation again, like fraud.
Because Aladdin pretended to be Prince Ali.
Yeah.
See, I feel like all you're doing right here is you're just slamming the heroes. Like, what about Jafar?
Ooh.
Jafar didn't impersonate anybody, and he was a jerk.
Yeah.
He had Jasmine chained up in his palace. And the parrot was shoving crackers down her fucking dad's throat.
He wasn't he? That movie's kind of dark.
He was jamming fucking crackers in his throat.
I think all Disney movies get dark, though, when you really think about it.
Yeah.
Walt Disney's like, not dark enough.
The Lion King would be Lion King I feel like should be murder.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, Lion King should be murder because fucking Scar kills Mufasa.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like, see, you just murdered this person, and guess what? Their son is like, get up, Dad, get up.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like a piece of shit now?
Yeah. You should, because you're the reason Mufasa's dead. You killed James Earl Jones. You piece of shit.
What I like is Disney Plus, by doing this, is going to like fix all crime. It's like, hey, if you do this, guess what? You have to watch this every single fucking day.
Yeah. Toy Story. I'm kind of hopping around now to want to the more popular ones. Toy Story.
I don't know what Toy Story would be. I mean, that'd be more. It wouldn't be a crime, but it'd be more like around divorce, because we don't really know what happened to the dad. Vandalism. Oh yeah, with Sid. Yeah, because Sid fucks up all his toys, and what happens? What do the toys do, Sean? They come to life and they fucking like traumatize him for the rest of his life. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, vandalism. Yeah, it's not like a high crime either. So you get caught spray painting on the side of a building, you got to watch Toy Story. Let's see. I'm gonna find one more, and I'll try to make sure it's a good one. There's a lot here. It's hard to pick just one. About Finding Nemo. That kind of would tie to like what we talked about, like poaching, illegal animal, or child abduction. Yeah. What's it called where like you you sneak an animal across state line type thing? Oh, like smuggling? Yeah, kind of like animal smuggling. Okay. Yeah, I think that would be a good one. All right. Yeah, I mean, like the other ones, a lot of these have to do with fucking kidnapping, like Tangled, kidnapping. Yeah. Well, I mean, these are all stories from like the olden days too, which that was kind of a thing. Like, the kings would, go and steal the princesses and arrange marriages and all that fun stuff. That old rigmarole. Oh, the good old days. Oh, Disney. Well, Richard, you show us the best of humanity. I think we've given Disney Plus a way to get just a little bit more money, because I know they're hurting. I think, Yeah, they are. They're a struggling startup. Yeah, they're the only movie company ever to make $10 billion in a year. Like $10 billion, like seriously. But Richard, as we're tidying up this amazing crime-filled episode, what are some Richard's closing thoughts? Don't do crime. Apparently, crime's bad. And there's a lot of cases where Disney movies can show you that crime doesn't pay. Yeah, the crime, you do the Disney time. Yeah, there it is. Time plus. Yeah, you do the Disney plus. All right, well, let me do a little bit of housekeeping. Visit our website, we're at languagebros.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at languagebros. Tell us what your crime for a movie would be. Email us at bros@languagebros.com. You can like us on Facebook. And remember, we are part of the Pod Bros Network. The plus side of the podcasting world. Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else before I close her out? Nope. Nope. All righty. Well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Sean. And I'm Richard. And remember, don't be a Y unless that Y is crime. Be a Y. Be a Y not.
Johnny. Everything's gonna be okay. Help's gonna be on the way.
Oh, I'm hurt bad. I'm hurt real bad. I don't think they're gonna make it in time.
Don't worry, Johnny. We're gonna get you home to Mama.
No, they say everybody dies. I'm dying today. Oh, I just wish I spent more time listening to the Draft Podcast at thedraftpod.com. Oh, I'm dead.
Johnny? Johnny? No! Thedraftpod.com. Don't forget to write home to Mama.